private investigation has changed. Infidelity, background checks. With today's tech, there's no clientele in that anymore, which only leaves the more risky jobs, where snooping around can be fatal. I can hold my own, but a gal can't be an idealist in this business. That'll get you killed. Only a few of us have the LF certification in Floresepark. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever run into the others. But with my luck, we'll be forced to meet at opposite ends of the same gig. Wouldn't that be fun?
The pre-order collection for Ripazine Issue 2 is now live. It features the first appearance of Saoirse, a 16-page short story by Eric July and Caden White.
Who the hell is this guy? What's he want? Where's he come from? After every soldier I have with him and he kicks their ass. Outman. Outgunned. And he walks away clean. With my money. Now what are y'all gonna do about that?
Turn us loose, Tuna.
Let us do what we do.
All right, now confirm. Now confirm that you can hear me. Like I said, I have a new setup, and well, not a new setup. It's just bringing a lot of stuff downstairs. So yeah, good now. Okay, cool. So y'all can hear me. Perfect. All right. So yeah, man. Wow, what a last couple of days that it has been. The Horseman, Welcome to Floresepark, has hit over 7,000 total books sold. I'm going to show you guys here. These are not the latest numbers here because the cache hasn't been updated. But if you are logged in as a member, you can see the live numbers. It's over 430,000 actually, and over 7,000 total books sold. Guys, we have 50 days left in this collection, right? 50 days left. So I have no idea where this is going to end up. It's going to be very interesting to keep up with for the next few weeks. But I'm loving that you guys are loving it. This character, created by our man Chuck Dixon, as well as Joe Bennett, conceptualized entirely by them, the first story of its kind, as such, because all of the previous books up until now with the Rippaverse have been released, were characters that I created. I did not create the Horseman. City that he's in, some other little tidbits, yes, but as far as the character, the Horseman, no, that has nothing to do with me. That was entirely conceptualized by Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett, and it's the first story, like I said, that is of that kind. So it's been awesome to see you guys embrace this. A lot of people are saying that this is right up Chuck Dixon's alley. That's why we've been with our marketing talking about Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett Unleashed, because we're letting them do their thing. This was something that they pitched to me. They said that the Rippaverse needed this, and we put it out, and there it was. So I love that you guys are loving it. You guys are seeing the animation. We have a couple of things going for it right now. We're working on that ticker thing. Alex got with our devs, and we'll be talking about some of that stuff next week to see if on rippaverse.com/members we can at least get like some sort of a ticker that we will continuously update, just to let everybody know how many members that we are dealing with. And like I said, once we get to 5,000 members, and we will do a full 10-minute, at least 10-minute runtime episode of the Horseman. That will be episode number 1. Once we hit 10,000, we'll just go ahead and commit to the entire season, which of course will take some time to produce, but there's been a lot of demand for our animations, and I appreciate y'all. We hear y'all loud and clear. This was something that I invested in for the company, and I never really knew how that was gonna go. When we were building our team. Big shout out to my man Dre, and when we were initially just kind of shooting the shit earlier, obviously just like a lot of folks within our company, they were fans of myself or philosophy or whatever it may be long before the Rippaverse had launched. And it's one of those things where the opportunity comes because now you're doing this new thing, and these guys have these specific skill sets. So my man Dre, we have been talking about maybe obviously we wanted to build this animation studio, and having our guys like build this team to be able to just come up with something. Look, there's animators all over the place. It's a specific skill set for sure. But as you guys see, we have an entire team because that's not no one man. Like definitely with the Horseman, that's not a one man thing. We got the music going for it as well. Shout out to Zach. He's done the music for pretty much all of our trailers. Like as far as the animated trailers, he also did the Yaira live action trailer music as well. And those guys are like they do their jobs. I don't know what more I can say, and it makes it very easy for us to put this stuff out when everybody's on the shit, and they are professional, and they of course are very good at their jobs. So we have a team, like an entire team, dedicated. As you see, we have now an animation style, right? ISOM 1 was a little different, right? ISOM 2's animation, but Alpha Core, Yaira animation, and this animation were all like
as you guys can see, it has that style. And I believe that's going to be our style going forward. And want to make sure that we keep our creators here busy, and we will love to do that. So appreciate everybody signing up. We got a lot of new members. Again, we'll get those numbers out to you publicly, hopefully sometime next week. Appreciate all the new members there. Of course, Horseman will be voiced by the legendary Dean Cain, who's my Superman, by the way. So yeah, we have that going for us as well. So a lot of things are happening with this collection, but obviously the Horseman is the big part of it as far as the book is concerned, because it did operate as a trailer. You have your 4 covers that you can get: Kanan, Ronaldson, Will Conrad, and Joe Bennett himself. We have a throwback cover that has returned. I know you guys love that. Some folks are saying that, first of all, a lot of people love this poster, but some people are saying that this right here, these 2 designs by my man's Kanan, as far as our shirt designs, are the best shirt designs that we've come up with so far. So I appreciate y'all there. Kanan really took the lead on this one. Like I just said, I needed a Horseman one and just figure it out basically. And Kanan came up with this badass skull shirt there. We had our pre-press guys, of course, asked them in the text. As far as this one, I made this one off of audience feedback, right? Obviously, I didn't draw it, but I had Kaden do it. I said, all right, let's do a black and white one. Some people have, they were doing some like concept stuff off of Kanan's white and putting Horseman on a black T-shirt. And I was like, okay, well, rather than like reusing art, why don't we just make some new ones that are in kind of the same vein of what some people wanted? And this is how we came up with this one right here. So you can go grab that right now as well, of course. So you can get everything. We've got the CGC copy signed by none other than Chuck Dixon. But you should just get everything. Why not? If you got the bread. Get everything. Get the full books. Get the full book CGC Signature Series copies, as well as the 2 shirts and the poster. Now, I am already in the works on maybe getting another poster that is our traditional 24 by 36. We got a lot of people that are asking about that because we're doing 2 campaigns, or excuse me, collections in a row. And like the Saoirse poster was a little smaller, as well as this one. So because this has destroyed all expectations, and generally we wouldn't do this with a collection like where we're adding new items to it, we're working on something. I got some little concept stuff going on to get you a 24 by 36 poster there. So we'll let you know, and we'll keep you posted on how specialized we can make it as well, because there's a lot of cool things that we want to do with it to make it really special. So I'll keep you guys posted on all of that stuff. Again, I appreciate y'all so much for that continued support, man. It's been crazy, a couple of days, because like I said, we never anticipated that it was going to do this well this early on. Like I'll take a $200,000 collection for a brand new character nobody knows really anything about, but to hit like 400 in a couple of days plus, and stocks are still going up. I mean, 7,000 total books sold already. Again, with 50 days left, I have no idea where this is going to end up. Pretty much all our books have sold over 10,000 copies, as far as not the magazines, but our base books. That includes Gooding. So this is for sure going to hit that benchmark as well. So it's going to be really cool to see, man. I'm having a blast, living the life, living the dream, and it does feel good, by the way, to be back kind of doing some sort of streaming stuff. I'm not anywhere near 100%. This is why my streams tend to be short. Definitely now that I moved down here, but the fact that I can at least touch base with you guys, and it is awesome. It for sure is awesome. So I said in the chat, we are getting that show. I want to do it. I for sure want to do a long form show, a series, if you will. So yeah, it's very doable. We know what our numbers are going to look like in terms of our animators, and again, it's not just animators, right? It's so many people that are part of the process that we need to pay. We got some budget stuff, so we have an idea. This is why we were able to kind of base those benchmarks. We didn't just pull those out of thin air. It's just basically looking at it from, okay, if we're having these reoccurring members throughout the next couple of months, we can use those funds, allocate those funds towards the creation of this animation, and that's because we know what the budget is gonna look like after sort of crunching some numbers. So it's been awesome, man. It's been very, very awesome to see. I appreciate all the loving support from all of you guys, man. You guys have been showing a lot of love, man, going crazy with our releases, man. And again, I appreciate y'all so much. So I think on Monday, we have it confirmed, but I just want to make sure that I don't have anything crazy that I need to do. On Monday, myself as well as Chuck Dixon will be streaming, I believe around 1 p.m. ish. So I'll get you some more information on that soon. But I talked to Chuck yesterday, and I think we're going to be streaming Monday. So we'll talk Horseman, we'll talk Alpha Core, we'll talk some other things that he's working on as well. So be on the lookout for that. I think that'll be very, very fun for us all. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. It's closing in. I guess the next big benchmark is gonna be 450,000, and after that, $500,000. Bro, I was not expecting to make $500,000 on a horse. I'll be transparent with you. Not anticipating that. And it's not that, hey, we don't believe in Horseman or any of the other characters. It's just that I think people need to understand that collections are, first of all, they're different from campaigns. But for something to hit a certain number, it has to have a lot going for it, right? This is why not all collections and campaigns are equal. Some have more items, like Gooding didn't have that many items. It didn't have any CGC copies, as an example. So it had what, the poster and the Gooding Services shirt, and that was it, right? So you're dealing with 4 or 5 items. That's to even hit. Well, what do we hit on that? Almost 300,000 or something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I know we hit like right after it closed, we hit 10,000 total books sold, right? So again, it was cheaper also, right? That was the base version, or the mass print version was almost $10 cheaper than what this base version is, as far as Horseman is concerned. And that's because it was shorter. It was only 72 pages, whereas Horseman is 96, right? So everything's different. And also the length. That's another thing. Like, our campaigns were running minimum. I mean, we're talking minimum 2.5 months, right? That was a bare minimum. Our campaigns were running. That's from ISOM 1, ISOM 2, Alpha Core, and Yaira, minimum. Our collections don't run that long, right? It only, we're running for, like, this was our longest one so far. And the reason why is because Chuck can't get here to sign some of the books until later. So we had to, and again, if we start early fulfillment, we will. But the books, we need to get the CGC copies, the signature series copies back. So, we have that we have to base that off of. So yeah, it's different, right? Every collection is different between what's in it, how much those items cost, as well as the length of them. Because if I was running like a year-long campaign, I don't know, ISOM 1 would be what, like a fucking, I don't know, $6 million campaign, right? If I was just running it for a year. ISOM 2, something like that would be well over $3 million. So the same goes for Alpha Core. But we don't have like an in-demand option for our stuff. It's just the campaign or collection closes, and then we're moving on. And those are sales that obviously you're not seeing because we don't have a public ticker on those as far as our total books sold and everything after those collections close. So why a collection is like how much money it makes, as well as what items. It's so much that goes into where that collection stops. Okay. As far as the dollar amount or the total book sold or total items sold, depending on what items it is, it just, everything's different. Price goes into it, all that good stuff. So with Horseman, it was interesting because I didn't anticipate that this was going to hit these numbers so early at all. I'm gonna be honest, at all. A $400,000 campaign was not on the books. So it was crazy to see how we hit that so early. And now we're just at this point, I mean, we're just benefiting, man. We're just benefiting off of these numbers. Got some bonuses Chuck can hit, make a little more money. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to see where exactly this ends up, because again, this one has 50 days left in the collection. So we will see kind of where we're gonna go and how far it's gonna go, how the stonks rise. But look, Chuck believes in this character so much. He loves him. This is a character obviously that's right up his alley, but it's his conception. So I know it's a little more personal than for him than like an Alpha Core or something, though he did create some characters that were a part of Alpha Corps, even like Sen Kim and such. But it's his baby, and he deserves all of what he's getting as far as the support, as far as the sales are concerned, because he created such a badass character alongside our man's Joe freaking Bennett, who is one of the best artists as far as I'm concerned that just exists, period. So yeah. All right. Let's see. We have Vagabond Devon with 56 months says, keep knocking things out of Floresepark. Appreciate that. To the hell. That's 56 months for my man. What's up, homie? Love to see you here, as always. Python Bacon with a 2 says Horseman looking aggressive. I liked it a lot. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed Horseman. As far as the animation and maybe some of the preview pages, like what I have pulled up here. Dan with 25 months says, hey, representing number 2 is great. Saoirse neurotic interview and Horseman preview. Keep those coming and get Kanan and Bart series on full books. Okay. I heard you loud and clear. Dan's one of the big Rippaverse supporters. So I am going to be like I said, I wish I could fucking get back to like recording my professional videos. But I can't get upstairs yet. So I guess I can kind of one leg hop up there. But I need to shoot a video talking about the results of the salvage poll and what we plan to do with that. Because that's going to be fun. I have some ideas. Bart series is down. Saoirse is going to be even easier to make happen because obviously Kanan is internal to us. He's a full-time guy here. So I know he's down. Obviously, I'm up for whatever. I'm glad a lot of people love it. It's cool seeing people be like, yeah, this is his best work yet. I love to hear that. I had a lot of fun creating Saoirse. She was again, I know we talked about how old I am. I'm not that old. Most of y'all are older than I am. But, we talked about Matlock and all these shows and stuff Columbo, that I grew up with just absolutely adoring. Those are the shows that I watched alongside both of my grandmothers, rest in peace. And it was, those are the type of stories that I like to, I don't know, I kind of just gravitated towards. So, I obviously set the scene in Salvage with, okay, there's a few different private investigators that have this LF certification. And I wanted to have that be like a launching point for a couple of other guys, Saoirse being one of them. And I just wanted to tell even the story of a private, because not all detective stories are the same, and not all private investigator stories are the same, because they're not, they can vary. What types of gigs that Salvage picks up is different from what Saoirse picks up. And it's also, again, it's not challenging. It's not the proper term, therapeutic maybe, but I had a lot of fun entertaining that and telling two different stories there with Salvage as well as Saoirse. And the fact that people love these, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's fun. And I just love, I love writing those types of stories. And so to hear that people want more of those is awesome. I want to give you more of those. All right. So while we're talking about it, because we had talk about Horseman, let's now that we have more people here, let's go ahead and watch the Horseman again, an animated trailer. Let's watch this real quick.
Who the hell is this guy? What's he want? Where's he come from? After every soldier I have with him and he kicks their ass. Outman. A gun. walks away clean with my money. Now, what are y'all gonna do about that?
Turn us loose, Tuna.
Let us do what we do.
So yeah, had a lot of fun with that, by the way. And as I talked about earlier, we'll see what happens with the memberships and if there's the demand for a full length, like a series. Okay, I want to do that. I would love to do that, and we'll see if we can make it happen. So I appreciate everybody that's been sharing that around. Continue to share that around. We'll have some ads and stuff going out over the next couple. I mean, we got a lot of time, bro. We got 50 days still left in this collection, so there's a lot of cool things that we're going to be doing to get the word out. And obviously, word of mouth is a big thing for how we operate our business, but we're doing some more professional marketing stuff as well. So, that's really my gig there is having all these sorts of conversations to try to expand this business to the best of my abilities. But we are off to a great start with the Horseman hitting 400 and over $430,000. That's fucking unbelievable, guys. Pinned in the comment section as well as in the description if you want some more information. It was Night Rider for me, says Larry Park. Okay. The dude, Big Lebowski, with 4 months says, look, I love the look of the hat. Eric, and he says, thank you, Eric, and your entire team for bringing me back to comics after a decade away. Man, I cannot tell y'all how I love hearing stories like that. I know it's been a little rough to be a fan of comic books, especially in the last over the last decade. But the fact that we're both bringing in new readers, as well as old ones that may have feel like they're a little disenfranchised, and giving them a new universe to get lost in, man, that I'm telling you, man, that means a lot to me. It's a responsibility that I take very seriously. So appreciate y'all so much. Says hail to you and your speedy recovery. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I can at least move around well enough to where like my wife's not having to like lift my leg or off the bed so I can get out of it or help me up or any of that stuff. She's actually gone and done it, doing her thing right now. And that's again me getting back to where I'm at. Probably will be another week or so before I get off the crutches. But yeah, taking it day at a time. Physical therapy, doing my exercises. Yeah. Kaden absolutely killed it on those shirts. The 2 best shirts so far. I love to hear that. My man's Bruce. What's up with you, bro? What's good with you? What's good? Hi, Dyson. Tuna needs to get a hold of his business. He does. He does. But you guys got a glimpse. By the way, that trailer setup, it's crazy how much you get with it a minute long, kind of just setting the scene up. So in that animation, right, you got to learn what type of character the Horseman is, right? You also got to see a couple of the major villains, and then we have that mystery in those 2 characters that showed up at the end of it. So it's like he set up. By the way, that the animated, that's basically his writing. By the way, we kind of just took it from the book. But as far as the dialogue, that was all written by Chuck Dixon, and he wrote it specifically for the animation, right? And man, what a job he did. He knows how to hold it down. But yeah, Tuna does need to get a hold of his business. He does. I agree wholeheartedly. Thundarius with 32 months. What's up, bro? Says first time buying cover C. Hell yeah. It says fucking fire. My main account, Cyberskull Media, got monetized this week. Let's go. You've been an inspiration. Keep it up. Cyberskull Media, shout out. Appreciate you, homie. And I'm glad that you're able to, you got that monetization, man. It's only up from here, bro. Keep it up. And yeah, the full cover, man, Will Conrad, that was all his idea. Because me and Will, I got working on another cover, by the way, on something else. But me and Will, we usually kick back some ideas. And on this one, I was like, okay, you know who the Horseman is. What you think? Just give me a little something. And that was what he, I saw the initial. He gave me like I think 3 options, and I saw that I was like, that's it. That's it. It goes perfect because with full copies, when you're doing full and like embossing, it has to be. You want it to be dynamic, right? It's a cover, right? The whole point is to engage you. But in the same respect, it needs to be simple enough to where the embossing and all that crazy shit doesn't get in the way, right? And it's easier to do. And that, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's our cover C. That's our cover C. And I'm glad y'all agreed that you liked it. We do see the sales on those, man. There's a lot of people picking up on that. So shout out to all of y'all for showing the love that you have shown, grabbing those covers. Fox Avengers v Aliens was so bad I cried laughing. I haven't seen that. I'm assuming that's animation. Have I seen? No, I haven't seen that. Larry Parker, appreciate that too. Love to see you here as well, bro. It's cool always seeing you. I got to see you in person at our meetup here. So yeah, so Horseman, welcome to Floresepark. I mean, if you want to read kind of the log line and stuff that we have, as well as the description, it gives you a little insight of the character and where he's going and who he is, and him being a family man in a sense, and what that means will make a lot more sense when you guys get to read it. Don't want to spoil anything there because that's like very integral to the story as far as how he navigates Floresepark and everything, but also the challenges that he faces. Him being one of our, not one of our first, I guess technically, and I mean the grand scheme, yeah, because we're only 2-year-old in terms of a company. But as far as like Gooding, he doesn't have any powers, but he's also not as tech savvy as a Gooding is. So it's a little different dynamic there. And Chuck did a really, really good job of trying to make him work in he's not an ISOM. He doesn't have superpowers. He's not a Alpha Core by any means. But it was cool for him to, or cool to see that script that he came up with and introducing this character that, one of our first masked characters as well, into this the city of Floresepark and making it make sense, considering that there are supers, excepts that are around. He is not one of them. He is not one of them. So yeah, it's a great story. It is a longer one, like our ISOMs and the Iras and Alpha Cores, and it being 96 pages. So it's going to be a nice little story. It is a graphic novel, but I will say that considering the reaction that we've already got, it's Chuck Dixon. It's going to be a slam dunk. Horseman's going to need his own shit. So we're already working. Chuck and I are already working on some other books for Horseman, even though this is a graphic novel, technically a one shot. Baptiste with a 5 says, "Hey brother, haven't said much to you in a while. It has been a minute, bro. But I recently got Yaira Alpha Core ISOM 2, and today got Horseman. Keep it up and God bless." Look, I want to be clear here. Like I know it's hard because of what's how a lot of independent stuff is happening right now. But I have no issues with people kind of waiting, be it they got something going on in their life, or they can't afford it at the time, or they maybe just new. That's why we keep our mass print covers. Getting these books after they came out. We are a publishing company, and we operate like one. Not everybody's Bruce. Shout out Bruce. Who, generally these guys are going to get everything. We have several of our big customers, most of them being Mega Max or Ultra Max, excuse me. Or not Max, but Ultra members. We have so many of those guys and they get everything, but I don't ever anticipate that everybody's going to get everything. And definitely with us speeding up our release schedule, it's going to be anticipated that not everybody's going to buy everything. They're going to gravitate towards their taste. Okay. I I mentioned this when we brought up when I first started the company. It's like there's going to be something for you, right? If it's Chuck's work, if it's Saska's, if it's mine, if it's Mike Barron's, if it's some other work, that's all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all can gravitate towards what you want, and it doesn't need to be in the timeline within the campaign or collection window. It doesn't have to be, and there's no love loss, obviously, from that. So we have people that just like they just got in on. Maybe it's a $5 sale. Maybe it was just buying it outright, like most people are doing now, because we do sell, and that's the benefit of being our own distributor. We sell everything that we've, that it's runs through us, so we can put things up for sale, or they're going to maintain themselves in the store. And so if you get in and it just happens to be later in duration, okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I appreciate you still nonetheless. And look, that's how it's going to be. We're not slowing down. So that sometimes people are going to be like, look, man, for one, I can't buy all of this shit. I mean, nobody, like you can think about a Marvel or DC or or Image. Nobody buys every single Image comic or every single Dark Horse merchandise item or every single fucking Marvel thing or DC thing, especially. Nobody does that. Nobody does that at all. So it's all right, bro. It's all right. I appreciate you still nonetheless. And yeah, I'm thankful to have you here. I appreciate you. When's Rippaverse going to get into the omnibus editions? We have something that we're working on. There's one that we are already like in the works. That is already in the works. But we also have one that's that obviously ISOM 3. Once ISOM 3 comes out, we'll get the full ill-advised arc. That will be a collected works. So of course that'll be an inevitable thing. But that won't happen till after ISOM 3's campaign and or collection or collection. So yeah. Says, man, got every cover stoked for this book. 53 months from my man's HTK bass player. Hey man, shout out to you. I appreciate y'all. Get every single cover. It's funny. We've got a lot of people saying, man, I cannot choose between these covers. Don't. Get them all. Get them all. Lincoln is my favorite character in the universe. Will we see more of him? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Paradise with a 5-star. And I also think him and Horseman can be a good duo. Yes. Obviously, you saw Lincoln. I introduced him in ISOM 2. He also made an appearance in Yaira. And with Yaira or Sally's connection to Projexis, it's inevitable that he'll be appearing there from time to time. But I have plans myself for him, Lincoln. It was interesting to see the kind of how people were going to handle that kind of character. Because I created him during the ISOM 1 days. Obviously, I just didn't introduce him because I introduced Projexis without Tona. But it was interesting to see how people are going to respond to him. And so a lot of people like what he has going with Projexis. So I'm game for that. I got plans with him. I do have some plans for him. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let's cover A. Okay. Will you be interviewing Chuck like you did for previous out? Early in the stream, I mentioned that Chuck and I were on schedule. I have not committed to it yet because there's a couple of things I need to make sure that we're clear of. But as of right now, plan for Chuck Dixon and I to be streaming on Monday at 1 p.m. Central. I don't know if it'll be here or on the Rippaverse channel, but we'll see. Got 2 Horseman orders in. Shout out. Shout out. Larry Parker with a 5 says, with as many reboots and rehashes that Marvel and DC constantly do, it is hard to keep up. The Rippaverse being linear is a major draw. look, this is why I continue to say that our universe is our biggest sale. And some people aren't into that. That's fine with me. There's plenty of companies that just make one-off characters, one-off little stories, and they're isolated. They don't connect. There's nothing wrong with that. That's their thing. But a big selling point for us is our connected universe, and because that was, and look, it's no secret that was what I loved about Marvel and DC. Being a fan for all those years, I love the idea. Not necessarily every character needs to know each other. No, I actually disagree with that. I don't want that to happen. Just because they exist in the same universe does not mean that they have to be a tandem. Does not mean that they have to know each other. That said, it's cool to see if those consequences can impact the stories of one story, can impact the stories of other characters, and also that idea that that character may show up is also very, very intriguing. So it's awesome because we took that into consideration from the get-go. We made it a big selling point for our company as far as how we tell our stories. So the idea that everything is kind of cleaned up. Look, we're not going to be perfect, but most things are going to be at least comprehensive. Okay, because we have our lore masters that make sure everybody's in line with the stories that they're telling. They don't get in the way of canon. We have meetings and we make sure that all that stuff, instead of people just, hey, I want to tell a story about this character, it's more, okay, yeah, I want to tell a story about this character, but I need to understand like where he's at up until then. I need to understand if there's some things that I need to consider that has happened in a previous story or a previous arc. All that stuff is taken into consideration. And that's what makes this sort of fun. And this is what's going to make it fun as our catalog grows and more people get into this stuff. More people are going to be like, okay, let's say it's 2026 and some people just got into it and we've already released, I don't know, 50 books by then. And you know, they're like, oh, I discovered this new universe. Now I can go get lost in it. I can go back to Ice on One. I can go back to all the other books. That's going to be very fun for all of y'all as well as us in terms of how we write things. So yeah, I figured that was going to be a major draw for guys that are especially comic book fans like myself. And look, it can be a little overwhelming for sure to get into some of these other stories from some of the major publishers. But a lot of that has to do with, look, when Batman was created, when Superman were created, it was not, they had no idea that they were going to be part of, like, they're so big to where now they transcend comics. They are part of like the fabric of America, right? And as far as they're culturally iconic. So you don't think that, right, when you create it. And I can't blame them in the 30s fucking considering that or not considering that. With us, we're considering it from the get-go. So that's not to say that we'll ever be as big as that, but at least, hell, if it does happen, we'll have some sort of comprehensive stories being told, as well as characters that are true to themselves, and the adaptations are as accurate as they realistically can be if they appear in another story. Okay. We have Baptiste says, what would you say to me wanting to introduce the Riververse me wanting to introduce into the Riververse a character of my own that I've been working on for years? Well, we don't accept pitches. What I would say is do your own thing, number one. And should you, like, if there's the opportunity arrives to collaborate, then it comes about. It'll happen organically. Just it's on a legal tip why all the companies, unless they're doing like a contest, don't ever accept commissions or submissions or pitches, because we can't. It gets really dicey. So I would say build your resume up. If you have an awesome idea, I would say maybe see it through for yourself first, and then if it comes a time where you put you on our radar, we want to work together, then we generally link up and it'd be organic. Randy, what's up with a 5? Wish you a speedy recovery from your surgery. Keep killing it, Eric. You're doing awesome. Thank you so much. I'm getting better. Like I said, I'm not 100% at all, but I do feel good. I do feel a lot better. Those first those first fucking couple of days were rough, man. And they said that it would be that way because it's a major surgery. And yeah, it was fuck, dude. I was. It wasn't like I was just in pain. It was less that though. Some of that's there on the incision spot, not where they did all the work, like the bone and shit. That was that was less of an issue. The issue was like definitely right after the surgery was obviously anesthesia. As you guys know, I don't drink, right? So people will call me a lightweight. Every time I've had surgery, I come out that shit sick as a dog. Every time. So I'm easy to knock out, but once I wake up, like I'm vomiting, I'm doing all kinds of shit. So that shit sucked. So I remember being in I threw up on the actual hospital floor. I tried to warn them, but they didn't listen. When I got out and I got up because I needed to take a fucking leak, and they were trying to help me up, the nurses, and I told them to fucking clear out because I'm about to barf, and that's exactly what I did. And I was sick as a motherfucker, man. Afterwards, and even when I went home, I had a slight scare there. Not like clotting. We didn't know what it is because I ran a fever, but it was normal. Um, for a little bit because I was getting chills. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like a couple of days after, which I did go back to the doctor just to make sure they checked me for clots and all that shit, blood clots, and making sure because that tends to happen with lower extremity. Not tends to, but you're at risk, obviously, definitely for surgery in lower extremity, for all of that type of shit, infections and all that stuff. So we we went back to the hospital to make sure everything was good, and I was fine. And now I'm like, all right, at least I'm functioning. Be tired a little bit sometimes, but I'm good. I'm not in pain. Other than when I'm doing my fucking physical therapy, as far as like just generally tired because it's almost like I gotta build this whole area of my fucking leg or hip area, rebuild it. And it's gonna be a journey, man. Like they said for well, like okay, in a month, if I was like inactive in a month, I'm fine, right? Like in a month, I'm ready to get back to doing my life does not be altered. But me being an athlete, it's to get back there. That's gonna be like a half a year, 4 to 6 months, 4 to 6 months. So, but I'm getting there, man. I am getting there, and taking a day at a time, making sure I'm staying on top of things. Second week of physical therapy starts next week, and yeah, I can't wait to get back to where I'm sprinting and kickboxing again. Mr. Nachos with 24 months has already ordered cover A and D of Horseman, just waiting on Isom 3 and Blood Ruth. Well, both are on the way. Both are on the way. Miss seeing you on Tuesday night's main event. I grab covers A through D, or A and D, or A through D. You just grab them all. Either way, I appreciate you. Stoic Arc Welder, appreciate that too. Yeah, I will be back next week. I'll be streaming from here. Whipping the Silverback returns next week as well. So I'll be streaming probably Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Getting back in form. Again, forgive me ahead of time if some of those tend to be shorter because, like I said, I'm not. Maybe by then I'll be okay, but like today, for example, we're not going to be doing a long ass stream. I'm just not there yet. Not there yet. But I'm getting there. Hello, pre-order cover A and now C. Woo! This is my man's Christopher with a 2. Appreciate that, homie. For Horseman. Thank you so much. I'm glad you got those. You're gonna love it. You guys are gonna love it. If you love the animation and how that character kind of operates, you're gonna love fucking Horseman. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Shout out. Market Reality with a 20 says, bond up the talent that was kicked to the curb by the big boys, MCU DC, due to their lack of DEI checkbooks was a move of absolute genius. Also helping others print, distribute, genius. May you be a multimillionaire. Says Market Reality. Appreciate y'all. And yeah, guys like the Chuck Dixons of the world, or the Mike Barons, it's unfortunate. I mean, they've been able to do a lot independently, and it's been awesome. But yes, obviously, what's happened with them kind of being more or less ostracized from the industry now is unfortunate, but it was certainly to the Rippaverse's gain, because we gave them a new sandbox to have some fun in, enjoy, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And yes, to the latter point, are you having these independent creators with their own independently owned creator owned material be able to take advantage of the Riververse's infrastructure is huge. We know that fulfillment, especially, is something that a lot of people don't consider because, look, and I don't blame anybody by any means. It's just that you got to have a business bone, business, not business in the chat. Everybody type business in the chat. You have to have a business bone in your body in order to do this. You can be as creative as all get out. You can be as creative as you want to be, but making that come into fruition is a different animal. It's different. It's not the same gig. Logistics of it, obviously distribution, all that ties into those logistics. It's different. It's not the same. You can't just because you're creative does not mean that you're going to be cut out to do that. And a lot of people, unfortunately, have found the hard way in doing their own independent stuff, and then understanding that they're over their head, and it's no fault of their own. They just assume that it was going to be easy. So naivety is more accurate. But we got that part down pat. And yes, now people that don't want to deal with that stuff because maybe they're creative, they want to focus on the creative stuff, and they just want to have us either publish it or they just want us to fulfill it. So if they're publishing it themselves, but they just want us to get it to the customers, we'll do that as well. We offer all of our services for Represent individually. That said, first up, Achromatic Chronicles Blue. There's one last asset, excuse me, green and blue technically because it's a reprint. There's one last asset that we're working on, and then we'll work on rebuilding. Well, Represent is pretty much ready to go. It's just we have to add a couple of things to all the campaign information and creator information. Then we'll launch the new Represent site, which will also have the the first campaign, which will be Achromatic Chronicles Green. Second, after that, we'll have the Mighty Golden Patriot, Barman's Yellow Flash. Those guys are doing the whole shebang. So they're getting the full publishing. It's their own stuff. It's similar to what Image does. I guess you can say that. The only difference is, or I would say it's not the only, it's the major difference between what us and like an Image does is that their model is based on selling to distributors and retailers. Obviously, what our model is, we'll sell to distributors, but our appeal is going to be those that want to sell directly to customer. But it's similar in the sense that I don't own Achromatic Chronicles Green. Riververse doesn't own Achromatic Chronicles Green or Blue, and we don't own the Mighty Golden Patriot, but we are the publisher of it. So it's cool to be able to do that because I'm gonna be completely honest. That was not something that I didn't create the Riververse thinking that was going to happen. If you watch my old videos, you guys always saw people would ask me that, and I'd be like, I'm not so keen on that. And then we had a lot of internal discussions, and we were like, no, this is a hell of an opportunity here. It's our way to also help a lot of independent creators. Sure, it's business at the end of the day. You do it. You want to make sure that you make money off of it. Like, it's not a venture, it's not a charity by any means, but it's a tasteful venture because it's constructed in a way that we don't make money unless the creators make money, and that's awesome. That's awesome. So and it's Riververse is trusted. They know that you guys know that if we put out something for sale, no matter what hiccups that we have, you're gonna get it, and within the window, or at least roughly within. Look, shit happens. CGC copies as an example. But you're going to get it within a relatively a reasonable window, right? So it's not a lottery. You're not playing a lottery with a Represent project, and that was a big draw for a lot of the independent creators that reached out to us because they're like, "Look, man, I just want to see this shit through, right? I got all these backers. I did this crowdfund campaign. I want to see this shit through, and we can help you see it through and make sure we get that stuff to your lovely customers, man." Larry Parker, 13 surgeries, barfed every time, never listened. Yeah, man. I'm a lightweight there, and I've told him, like, look, bros, I don't drink, so being under this shit is gonna suck. it's gonna suck. I throw up every time. Had an appendectomy, threw up then. It's just every time I come out of that bitch. At least I threw up at the hospital because last time we were like mid driving, and I had my wife had to pull over in a racetrack. It was a racetrack. It wasn't a quick trip, it was a racetrack, and I barfed it. Almost barfed in the car. That would have been pretty bad. We're bad. Mark Reality with a 5 says, I ordered all 4 covers. I love Chuck Dixon's writing. He is the man. He is someone that knows exactly what he's doing. And I love that, man. Like, I feel like Chuck is hitting his prime still. I know people love their Banes and all that. Everything he did for Nightwing and the Bat Family, Rob, everything. Stephanie Brown. I understand that. Hell, even Birds of Prey. I understand that. But I feel like he is in his prime still. And he's doing prime work with the Rippaverse. And Horseman is one of them. Loved how it turned out. Love it. Love it. Someone brought this up. Yeah, we'll usually show this stuff. What we usually do videos showing off the material. All that promotional stuff is going to come. You'll see the shirts. You'll see the poster. You'll see the books. You'll see them all very soon. Like I said, we've got 50 days, so we'll be showing all of that stuff off in physical form, like we normally do. So be on the lookout. It's gonna be a fun time. So there's that. But yeah, so Horseman, like I said, the numbers that I have here are not up to date. I'll get the exact numbers in a minute, maybe. But the numbers I have here are not up to date because I'm not logged in. So the latest numbers show if I can get logged in. There we go. I'll read this while it's loading up. I did some self-defense and high rope climbing this week along with a leap of faith. I'll make a man of myself, be great, and remember to keep failing. Ripper, you got it. Man's creative. What's up, man? 26 months. You got it. So, yeah, 7,132 books sold, 434,000 in total sales. Thank you guys so much for that, because that's amazing. Okay. Like I said, this was just a little check-in. I just wanted to say what's up while I had a little window. I'm gonna get a little work done. Wife's I just heard the garage open, so the wife is gonna be hanging out. My man's Dan Vask in the chat says, "Hell, Rippaverse, infinite W's." You got it. You got it. But yeah, I'm going to bounce. I will see you guys next time. Cameron will see you guys next time as well. Plan for us to be here on a Cameron. I'm streaming, girl. I plan to be here. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. We'll see. It shouldn't be a problem to do it like another short one. Just check in. What's up, girl? Can't be streaming. But yeah, so I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. But for sure, plan on Monday, like I said, 1 p.m. I will confirm publicly soon enough. Chuck Dixon and myself will be talking about Horseman and everything else. So it's going to be a very, very fun time. We'll see you then. Thank you guys so much for the support. I got to get out of here, though. We will end, let's say, with the Horseman trailer. All right, guys, I'll maybe see you tomorrow. Peace out. Appreciate y'all's support. Keep spreading the collection around. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, y'all be easy. Peace out.
Who the hell is this guy? What's he want? Where's he come from? After every soldier I have with him and he kicks their ass. Outman. Outgunned. And he walks away clean. With my money. Now what are y'all gonna do about that?
Turn us loose, Tuna.
Let us do what we do.